Oh yeah, it's Daddio time, friends. I'm losing my voice a little bit. I think it is just from the trip, but I'm one of your hosts, Glenn Tickle.
Hey, I'm one of your other hosts, Ricky Glore. Yeah, I mean, y'all, you always get sick when you come back from like a long trip, especially if you've been in a car for a long time, especially if you're going and shaking a bunch of old people's hands and
Yeah,
slobbering on
and French
babies,
kissing old ladies.
and then French
Uh,
kissing each other when you get back to the hotel room because that's the only way you can comfort yourself to sleep.
I tongue kissed so many old ladies in Nebraska.
You shouldn't. I told you to stop doing it.
Can't stop, won't stop. Well, I think part
Only
of it is it's like I don't feel sick. It's just like my sinuses are dry, and it is largely because it's if you're in the car, that is forced air heat. If you're in the hotel room, that's usually forced air heat. So it's just like all old, hot, dusty air being blown in your face.
Yeah, and that is a big part of it too, is the air conditioning and the hotel just constantly kicking on and off. Even though I didn't feel like it felt that bad. We stayed at a Fairfield Inn, decent hotel. This is part of our hotel talk, our
Yeah,
holler at your hotels. The Carlson was the name of the first one we stayed
I
at.
forget where some
Outside of Peru,
absolute
Illinois,
dive in
or
Illinois.
Peoria, maybe. It was not great, but we slept, we woke up, we hit the road. So, Glenn, everybody's
My
here.
friend.
I'm imagining this is the Nebraska recap. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what
Oh,
this.
you're. Wait. I think I called it a debrief when I titled the episode
D's nuts
for the
brief.
live stream. It was almost going to be a recap, but yeah, we just got back from Johnny Carson's 100th birthday.
I feel like it's a
Norfolk, Nebraska
part episode because one of the smallest things that happened in the grand scheme of the hours and the time that we were on the trip could also fill an episode, which is the fan pitch, the comic book we came up with, which I feel like is next episode.
We should probably focus on the Carson
if we divulge. Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Better housekeeping.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have a long one in me today, but I got a long one on me.
You know what I'm saying? No, same here, sir. I am, you will hear me say through the next 2.5 months. We're in pre-production.
Oh, you were going to say hours. It's like, no way. I'm not making it 2.5 hours today, but
no. We are funzo dunzo a little after 10. Because like I said, these are going to be 1.5 hours. You might like that. Maybe this is when we start popping fresh because we're going to be succinct. That's not true. It's just going to be shorter. It's not going to be succinct, as is this preamble. I'm in pre-production for Casually Cool, my first of 2 movies. Last night, if you're listening to this on Friday, Halloween! I feel like it's a missed. Should we hold off on talking about Nebraska for next week? And today, I mean, it's Halloween episode. Should we talk about
Halloween? We're not
our favorite like Halloweens. Oh man, you don't like? I'll see now. Now I'm gonna be sad. You don't like Halloween?
I mean, different towards Halloween because I'm an adult.
Yeah, I'm an adult too, and I like the imagination and the whimsy of a child. Like,
I hate whimsy.
Great. Oh, that is such a waffle statement from Glenn Tickle. You do not hate whimsy. You are one of the most whimsical little boys. I heard you sing so much on this trip. I almost popped out
quietly.
Times.
No, it would have been over, dog. I would have canceled. If you posted a video of me.
We were. I would never do. I would never
relationship over
your trust like that. Yeah. What was the one that we were harmonizing to on the way back? Because we did a mirror version of our trip. Like everywhere we hit except for the Iowa's largest truck stop on exit 63 or Route 63 or whatever, big number off the exit. We did hit that on the way up.
Yeah.
Because I guess you mentioned it and maybe I didn't act very enthused or we had just stopped.
I think we stopped pretty close to it and it's
underwhelming for the most part. If you've been to a Buc-ee's, like
if you're driving through Iowa on Route 80, sure, stop at the world's largest truck stop to say you did it. It's not. There's nothing there. There's stuff there. There's a movie theater apparently.
Yeah, on the way back, I got myself what was it? A yardstick of flattened, dried teriyaki meat.
Disgusting.
That was surprisingly good. But yeah, what were we singing that we were harmonizing?
I don't know,
Leaving that outlet on the way back. Granted, we were delirious. We had just spent the last 4 days with each other, like pretty. I mean, we had breaks from each other, but pretty nonstop. I think we did pretty well. We only had one big fight.
Yeah, and it was over the dumbest shit possible.
Yeah,
no, it was a good time. I drove out. I spent all day Thursday driving to your place.
Car did they give you for a rental to
God.
drive halfway
So,
across God's green earth?
I
Literally,
drive my
halfway across
car
the United States.
halfway
That's
across
how
the
far
United
we
States.
drove.
A trip I've made a bunch. The car I drive is a Honda Fit. It is a tiny subcompact hatchback car that I love because it gets 40 miles to the gallon. Seats don't fold down flat, so if I need to like throw a PA or something in the back, it's great. I love it. So anytime I rent a car, I just reserve the smallest car possible in the hopes that maybe they also have a Honda Fit they could give me. A thing that happens a lot of times is if you reserve a rental car, they don't give a shit what options you tell them you want or nothing. You get there and you get the car that they have.
We know that you have asked for all of these things. We had a very extensive questionnaire, and we have given you none of those things,
Yeah.
and you will take what we give you.
Now, our friends at Enterprise, the rental car company, to which I am deeply loyal for clearly
I remember
reasons that
this
aren't
all,
just
but semi forgot about the rigmarole of
Yeah.
the airport. Okay, yeah, continue.
Well, I use Enterprise not because they're the best. It is just there's one that I can walk to from my house.
Yeah.
So it's the most convenient. I could use any of them. Like I can leave my car at Allentown Airport and just grab anyone. They have a couple there, I think. But it's the one in town. It's the easiest to use for me. They've done this to me a couple times where I get there to pick up a car and the person working at Enterprise is like, hey, I'm going to hook you up. I don't want you to, actually. Please. I picked the cheapest option because those are usually the most fuel efficient cars. That is the car that I want. And instead, I was presented with a 2025 Ford Mustang that was absolute trash. There's always a bit of a learning curve when you rent a car of like, oh, figuring out where the buttons are or whatever. Oh, this works a little differently than in my car. This car just sucked. It was
nothing worked. It was a 2025 Black Mustang convertible, which we could not use. It was very cold. And we kept on
I
driving
did
into
think
colder.
at some point we should probably, like when we were suited up for the show, have popped the top down and grabbed a picture so we look like the absolute biggest assholes in the world.
I don't think we would have been like we made that,
but I forgot to do that.
I didn't realize that it was a Mustang until we left my house after eating some za, and I left my screaming crying children.
Surprise.
Oh, and I saw it. I'm like, oh wait, no. And I saw the New Jersey license plate. I was like, this is what we're driving. And you're like, yeah. And I was just like, and you're like, they hooked us up. I was like, oh, I've had one of those where they're like, oh, I'm hooking you up. I know you asked for a Geo Metro. I'm giving you a Hummer, like, and not in the fun way.
My wife and I went to a wedding in California once, rented a car, same thing, subcompact, cheapest option. And they're like, we're going to give you a Chevy Suburban. I'm like, I can park my usual car inside this horrible large monster car. This sucks.
Maybe they thought that's what you're doing. Like it was going to be a reveal. I think we talked about that. We talked about doing some photos and looking like some real douche nozzles, which we may anyway without the car. I think us talking about it and then us driving for 2 days in it, and not only it being the car that it is, that, I mean, we both had to crawl into the car. I'm not a giant man. I'm 5'10" and a half. You're what, 6'1"?
Yeah, my license says 6'1". I think I'm probably 6, maybe slightly under because of decades of back problems. But I'm a tall boy.
From your debilitating God smiting, yes, you have been crushed. You have reversed racked. The pressures of life and the gravity that you live in day to day
Yep.
has squashed you down. I think because of how shitty the car was, not just that it was a Mustang convertible, that was like, oh, that sucks. Gas mileage honestly wasn't that bad. What was it, like 33 miles to the gallon?
Averaging about 33 for the trip.
But we were on
So
the highway.
that part was not as bad as I was expecting.
Gas wasn't too expensive in most
Honda
regions.
Fit on that trip would have been about 40.
Sure. Yeah, much better. And I think by the time we had driven for 2 days and realized that the radio sucked, not just like bad sound system. Like,
Oh, I
it
realized
sucked.
that. Immediately.
Well, I'm saying me, like I got
I
acclimated
told
to
you
all the shittiness.
when I picked you up, I was like, oh, yeah, this is the car. It doesn't look ridiculous. Also, it absolutely sucks. And then I kept pointing out things that I hated for the entire. I was like, oh, and one more
You were
thing.
right. Yeah. And then I kept
So you
on.
plugged your phone in.
Yeah.
We both did because we were taking turns. If you're using maps,
Yes.
or I believe you used Waze, but it
I
had the
used
same
Waze,
problem for both.
Yeah.
If you had the map screen up while you were listening to something, if the map had to readjust or zoom in or turn, it would mess with the sound. It would like,
Yes.
it made it unlistenable. Far too low, hurt me to get in and out of the car every single time.
Oh, the
leather
AC,
seats, which
like,
I hate.
all of the knobs and like buttons, whatever, was all touch screen.
Everything
sucked.
was computer.
Yeah.
It's all computer inside.
It didn't work. It heated up like a computer without a fan. Like you could touch the
Yes, the
back of it.
screen got so physically hot, not from
Yeah.
being in the sun. Like it's a black interior, so like if it's sitting there in the sun, it's gonna. But like running the car, you could have AC on. It doesn't matter. It just got so hot because it's. I don't know
It would
what garbage chips they're trying to run that thing off of.
Like they wanted, like it went topped at 140. I think the highest I did was 100 at one point. But that's not a brag. I was just going with traffic. But I think by the time that we got to Nebraska, I think all whimsy, like the whimsy had been beaten out of us of like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we like pop the convertible top down and we're in our suits and like this would be cool.
Yeah.
We're like, fuck this car. This car's stupid. The Mustang horse light that projects out of the door, like that worked every time. Like
the doors have
the light
little projectors that show the Mustang logo on the ground when you get in and out of the car. It's like, this, who is this for? Yuck.
Customer service, like we're pretty good. We understand. I might get a little sardonic and some sarcasm with customer service because I sometimes will say something and be like, hey, I know what we're going through here, like it sucks, like it's not your fault. But when you picked me up from my house near Cincinnati, we had to go to the Florence or go to CBG airport. That's the only Enterprise that was open to get me added so I could drive. That to me kicked off the hilarity of the small, like different little interactions we had throughout the trip. Like that really set the bar. So we go up to the counter. Glenn had already called to make sure that this is something they could do. All I had to be was there with my ID showing it was me. They'd add me to the car, being able to drive. We get there and the girl's just like, I don't think we can do this. Like doesn't go, let me see if we can do this. I've never done it before. She holds like my ID and she's like, I don't think, staring at a screen and Glenn's paperwork. Registration, like I don't think we can do this. And Glenn goes, well, unfortunately, I just called.
Yeah, I know you can. It's a thing I've done, not a ton, because it's usually like when you're renting a car. I've done it, I think, twice before, where it's I rent a car in one spot, and then along the way, like whoever I'm working with at a show or whatever, it's like, oh, we just got to add you on so like you can do some of the driving. And they're like, oh yeah. Any enterprise and any enterprise location.
Enterprise.
You just both need to be there with your licenses. It's no problem. I was like, great.
And then it was not a big one, just like a small, like they kept. So where it ended up going to is almost like a sketch and almost like a bit. Like there's a reason why, to bring up purposely your favorite comedian, Jerry Seinfeld. There's a great rental car scene in Seinfeld. There's a great rental car scene in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's it's just prime. Like those people have never changed who works that job. And like I said, with giving the shitty cars you didn't ask for, or not really wanting to do what you ask for them to do, even though you know they can. So she's like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna have to get my manager for that then. And then like stood there looking at us,
Yeah,
as if to be like, so if you're cool with that,
yeah.
a manager's
Hey,
coming.
if
I
that's
don't know
what you
if
got to
you're gonna
do,
run from the enterprise law.
I'm not
And when the
afraid of
manager
Cecil.
shows up, he's gonna see and he's gonna go, Daddios, and we're gonna go, manager, and we gotta
And he did it, but he was like,
again, he comes up. What do you guys want to
I'll
do?
have to bring this
Glenn's
into my office because I can't do it on this computer. So I don't care what computer you do it on.
Well, he first said, I don't think I can do this on this computer. And like stood there and looked at us. And we were like, okay, what can you do it on? And he goes, a computer in my office. Yeah. This is set up for the airport. The computer in the office is set up for all of the other regular enterprise.
Yeah, it was some kind of thing of like the airport locations work on a different system.
I'm and like, we're just standing there.
I don't need to learn about the inner workings of your rental car company. I know this is a feature of this process. Add my friend to the rental so that I don't have to be the one who drives 3,000 miles or whatever.
This is the literal, like, it's we're doing face-to-face customer service, but at the point that this got to with the information and the pauses, as if like, you sure you want me to do this? Like, didn't take an exorbitant amount of time, or exorbitant amount of time, but it was the equivalent of calling customer service and getting an automated phone line thing of being like, customer service. Like, did you say rusted bucket? No, I said customer service. Like, that's what it felt like. And so eventually he went back, and then we stood there, and then the girl at the counter who now took back over her station, there was not a lot of people. It was 8 o'clock at night, 7:45 at night. And we're standing there, not being told how long this would take, not instructed anything else. And then the girl goes, can you guys step to the side so I can take care of these other customers? And we were like, oh,
to her credit, you're putting a little more sauce on that delivery than she did.
But there had been this weird like exchange in this tone between everybody that talked to us, to the point that you and I were like, did we ask for something weird? Is there something weird like about us? Like, we don't look like kids. We look like middle-aged,
gross middle-aged dickheads driving around in a Mustang. That's what we look like.
Responsible. No, and I don't think we're being judged by that, but like, we look like people who probably have children and are responsible. It's not like we came rolling up in like half shirts, flip-flops, and neon, like glow sticks, like, bah, 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 bah. Like, oh man, these guys are messy. But anyway, from there on, then the next stop that we did, besides a gas station, was this janky hotel that we just needed to sleep for to the night. We were just kind of wanting to get past Chicago, so the next day's drive wasn't as bad. And getting there, again, another weird customer service interaction. There's these gentlemen checking in late at night, because it's what, midnight, 12:30,
something like that. It was pretty late by the time we got there.
These pair of guys clearly have already been entangled in this registration process for a minute before we come bumping in, because the guy has a handful of cash and he's counting through, and he's like, well, can you put some on that card and I'll pay you the rest in cash? Yeah,
he's trying to figure out how he can, take care of the interaction for the night. That's fine. We're patient,
Yeah. And then so she gets his card and she's like, what is this? And he's like, it's my Visa. And she's like looking at it front and back, and she's like, I've never seen one of these like these before. And he's like, okay. And then she runs it and she's like, it isn't going through. And he's like, how much more of that in cash? He's like, I'll just give you all the cash. And then just like peeling cash. And so they pay in cash. And as they're leaving, the girl is like, don't smoke in that room. You cannot smoke in that room. You won't get your deposit back if you smoke in that room. And so the one guy like looks over at us and he's like, "Yeah, good, you guys listening? You guys aren't allowed to smoke either." And we're like, all right.
I think he was just doing a fun little bit. He was just doing a fun little bit of business.
It was fun, but again, the kind of the tone of some of the interactions, which it then changed to hospitality later in the trip, at some really great examples. But then we check in, and there's this weird kind of interaction, like, "Do you have a reservation?" Like, clearly we don't. Clearly, the hotel that this is, and like, "Do you have any reservations on your screen?" Probably not. And then so I gave her my card to pay for the room. And it's a white Visa card. It says Visa really big on the back. She's like, "I've never seen, what is this?" And I'm like, "It's a Visa card." And I was like, "Man, what an interesting day that you've gotten two cards that you've not recognized." She's like, "Yeah, I know, right?" And I'm just like, and she said something about she's like, "You all have some weird cards here." I was like, "I don't know if it's us, if you're the person and the common denominator between cards that
Maybe it's
clearly
her first night on the job. I don't know. I've seen a lot of different kinds of cards, lady. I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah, swipe it. Like, doesn't matter. Like, swipe it, and if it don't work, then we'll try to figure out if this is a library card or whatever." But anyway, that's that. I can't remember the next day, besides the real margarita. I can't remember that there was any weird or interesting interactions. Sorry, we don't have to chronologically go through the whole trip.
I mean, when we got to the hotel in Norfolk, I messed up.
That's right.
You know, when you check into a hotel, and they're like, "Oh, we just need a card for incidentals." Like if you order room service, charge anything in the room, that stuff.
So maybe what I just said about that lady being the common denominator.
Let me finish the sentence.
Maybe we are the common denominator.
Maybe. So we're checking in, and then she's like, "All right, you're all set. I just need a credit card." And then like I put it in the thing, and she's like, to pay. She's like, "Or I can use the one on file because the room was booked for us." And I was like, "Wait, no, is this for incidentals or is this to pay for the room?" She goes, "To pay for the room."
Whoops.
I was like, Can you use the other one?" She's like, "No, I deleted it when she didn't do it. Like it got deleted when I gave her I was like, "No, I mean, this is fine, like for room charges." But like, so then we kept having to talk to Libby from the museum we're performing at for Carson's event. And I was like, "Hey, can you call? I messed up. Can you, I don't think it's 100% on me, but I need you to now." I hate bugging people about stuff like this, but it's like, I need you now to fix a thing that I ostensibly caused. But they took care of it. It was lovely. I had a wonderful time. It's always great. This was my third trip specifically to perform in Norfolk. I performed in the Northeast Nebraska area quite a bit, but
I was a big fan of the area. I had never been to Omaha. I think this is my first. I'm pretty sure my first Nebraska. Besides that other weirdness, the Friday night, we walked to a restaurant because I had seen a billboard and I was like, what is the fare of the land? And what was it? Ruva or Runa? Runza.
Because you're like, "Oh, like what's like the local thing?" I'm like, "I don't
local
know, man.
delicacy."
I'm a picky vegetarian. I don't really look into what the local thing is a lot of places. But Nebraska, it's like a fast food chain called Runza, and it is Hot Pockets, but they get upset when you call them that. It is like, "Oh, it's like a stuffed sandwich." Like, is it like some kind of pocket of bread with hot filling inside? They don't love the comparison. I did have one my first time out there was before I stopped eating meat. So I had one then.
They probably do they not serve a veggie one, or it's just
no, they have off and on, but
and like when you mentioned that, I was just like, you know what? I don't know that I want to eat just a stuffed loaf of bread after riding in a car for 9 hours.
It was good. I'm not gonna act like it wasn't, but they've introduced veggie ones, or it'll be like for a limited time. There's like this kind that happens to not have meat in it. But they didn't at the moment, so I wasn't gonna make a special trip. I'm surprised. I genuinely thought someone we interacted with would have brought it up with
recommended something. Yeah, I mean, kind of the
Pat
only place.
specifically. I thought Pat Jansen would have asked if you
Like,
had
did you have a
Runza.
runza? Like, does it give you the runza after eating a runza?
When I was there, 2022 was when I did the Great American Comedy Festival, and that was like one of the catered lunches. Was they just like
The Great American Comedy
got a
Festival,
bunch of stuff from
the
Runza,
Riyadh of Nebraska.
and I was like, cool. I can't eat any of this, so I'll go fuck myself, I guess.
Don't worry, I'll go fuck myself.
They were very nice and accommodating at the festival. I had a wonderful time, but
so
they did ask at the contract level. They're like, let us know if there's if you have any, dietary restrictions, allergies, or anything. We'll make sure that we accommodate you because we're like catering the event. I was like, that's really thoughtful. Some of the other comics there that week were vegan or vegetarian as well. So it wasn't just me. There were a couple of us that told them, like, yeah, I don't eat meat. So like, it would be great to have some kind of options. There was like one big bowl of salad that I feel like just got moved from event to event.
Ew.
So like by the end of the week, it was
bowls that, like,
pretty wilty.
Of ice, where it's just like keeping it cold. Oh, that's like, buffets. I mean, buffets are. I mean, I had a healthy experience of buffets throughout my long life, which means to say that I had very unhealthy experiences.
Sure.
Spaghetti in warm water at buffets to keep it warm, and then you just pull out with tongs like these wet noodles. Ugh, gross.
Don't love that.
But where we did go was, so I didn't want to runza, and I didn't feel like that was the best meal. Coming in, the billboard I saw said Michael's Cantina, and it showed a big old margarita on it, and I was like, that looks good. Mexican typically has stuff for my friend Glenn.
Yeah.
And I want that margarita. And also, I like the options of Mexican because usually you can get a plate of like vegetables and meat, not a lot, and so we looked it up, and within walking distance, very, very close to our hotel, which had a very, very weird smell. And if you know Glenn, smells punch Glenn in the face.
I think this one though would have gotten anybody. This wasn't just me. I'll admit I'm weird about smells. This one was just straight up horrible.
It was nasty.
I mean, you live in a rural area with a lot of farms around. You're gonna smell smells, but this was like I'm in a rural part of New Jersey. They fertilize the farms near me sometimes. And it's like, oh yeah, they just like spread a bunch of cow shit everywhere. This was like concentrated, boiled down,
cold, and it smelled
shit smell. It was horrible.
Yeah, like it was like warmth when you took in a breath, but it wasn't from the air around you. So Michael's Cantina, we walked to it, and it's in the strip mall that's not too far away. And when we get to the front of it, it looks just like a bar, like a local dive bar. And I was like, oh no, I didn't look up to see if this place had food. Cantina usually implies drinks and food, I believe, if whatever the definition is, that I could look up, but I will not. I was like, oh no, I didn't look at the menu. I was like, did you look at the menu on your phone, Glenn? And he's like, I did not. And so I pulled it up real quick. I was like, before we walk in here, I was like, oh, they do have food. It's Mexican restaurant, Mexican American. We sit down. I love the mom and popness of the place, and it immediately made me go, oh, that's right. Alexander Payne is from here, because it just looked like a lot of places that he shoots in Nebraska in his films. I flipped the menu, didn't really look through it a lot because I'm just like, they'll have whatever I want to order. Hopefully they have it for Glenn too. I'm going straight to the margarita. It was a real margarita. I did not look how it was made. I asked for it on the rocks, original with a salt rim. It came out and it looked like, I'll post a picture, I'm sure. It looked like tequila and lime juice.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it was a hefty glass. I think I got whatever they said the big boy was. I was just like, boof. I made this mistake before of getting a margarita that wasn't very good and then tried to correct it with like different other adding a shot or whatever. It's been a mistake before. And then it turns into an expensive mistake. I take a sip. It is tequila and lime juice. I look on the back of the menu to read the description now of a real margarita, And Michael's Cantina is like, we make real margaritas here. We took the original ingredients of margarita when it was first invented in 1283 BC or whatever. When they're building the pyramids, they would pull out tequila and drink lime juice by biting a lime, and that was a real margarita. And I was like, oh, this Daddio, as much as I want this drink, is not a strong enough Daddio to drink this. Corrected it by getting a shot of amaretto and some soda water, and it was delicious. You, on the other hand, did not get the luxury of having an expansive menu to choose from by the time you made your choices.
No, there wasn't a lot of options, or just ones that, like, there I could have gotten. So I ended up just getting like chips and bean dip and stuff. Because along with not eating meat, I also can't eat avocado without getting violently ill. That's
without getting the runzas.
Been a recent development in the past couple of years. That of all the stuff I can't or have decided to stop eating, that's the one's like, I really like avocado. Like, it's so good.
Like, do you think it's part of God's master plan
to destroy me? Sure,
throwing you curveballs.
Oh, you're trying to bring me down for sure.
Oh, and then the bean dip too. Like, after I looked at the menu even more after figuring out the real margarita, I was like, oh, there's a reason why this is called Michael's Cantina. It's not Miguel's Cantina. It is Michael's.
Trying to make this joke, and I didn't really track.
It's not a joke. It's looking at the menu is, I think, and maybe I'm wrong. People can chime in on the comment section. If you're listening, is anybody listening? Half of the menu was American food. And so I was like, oh, this is my.
Oh, I could have gotten a burger for sure.
Yeah, but it wasn't even just like a burger. Like, I got wings, and it was very American wings. It wasn't like Mexican flavored wings or spices or anything. It wasn't an option. Like, more than half of the menu had nothing to do with food south of the border. And then seeing a large table of elderly people get their Mexican food, it was easy to ingest Mexican food. Like, it was definitely Mexican American. But anyway, it's kind of like there's different Chinese restaurants or Asian restaurants that are like that too, where they like have the most American of the foods and then kind of like a diner menu for the rest of the menu. And then we came back to our hotel room and we began to watch Buckaroo Banzai for the first time. I had never seen it, and I really enjoyed what I watched, and I plan on finishing it myself this week.
You fell asleep. I mean, admit it, like you were awake for the best parts of it, because after
it was great.
After the concert scene, it does kind of drop off from there. But
I love big swing movies. There's not a small choice. Visually, character-wise, like vibe-wise, in that first 20 minutes. You said it starts to get worse the longer it goes on, right?
Not exactly in that wording, but like, it is great. So they had the.
Sorry, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. You're like, damn you! I shared that with you in confidence.
No, it's just some of it looks really cool because it was shot by the guy who shot Blade Runner, and then some of it looks like episodes of 80s television because they
fired the dude,
because they replaced the producers insisted on firing the guy from Blade Runner.
And the first 20 minutes it looks fantastic. We also get an amazing performance by John Lithgow.
It's great,
looking like complete wacko. Then the next morning we looked at some animals, and we
met a monkey.
I got to touch a monkey. Like, we
got to meet a monkey. We saw a big snake.
Yeah. They don't bother me. Snakes don't bother me. If they had to pull it out of tarantula, I don't know. I'm not like afraid of tarantulas. I just would have not been into like looking at it. That's what I think. And then I got to meet Libby then, who was a delight. And then I got to meet your friend Pat Jansen, who drove in from a distance himself to be on the show, correct?
So he lives, I forget not far from Norfolk. I don't remember exactly how long that drive is, but lives near there. And he was in Colorado, I think he said, calling some. He was doing like sports announcer stuff that he does sometimes. Or no,
Okay.
was he watching his niece do something? I don't remember. But he was driving in from out of town. And yeah, but Pat and I don't remember specifically if I met Pat at the first open mic I did in Bethlehem, but it would have been like, if it wasn't that night, it was like the second or third. But that is how we know each other. It's just when I was starting out here, he was also doing mics, and then he's lived all over since then. And typically, like, he will end up moving to a place and then get himself involved in the local comedy scene. And then at some point, he's like, "Do you want to come do a show in wherever I live now?" It's like, I will follow Pat Jansen anywhere.
I will follow him.
So, I mean, that's what, like, he had moved back to Nebraska during the pandemic and then started working with the Great American Comedy Festival. And then he's like, "Do you want to come to Nebraska for a Johnny Carson themed comedy festival?" I absolutely do. But yes, Pat is wonderful. One of my best friends. He was the co-host when I was doing Pretending to Be on TV, which I think I've mentioned on here before, but it was like a staged talk show, Tonight Show format, monologue desk pieces. We'd have guests, sometimes a band or a comic. Does that answer your question, you dirty bird?
I was just gonna say I had a delight meeting him, talking with him. The audience that we performed for the 100th Carson birthday show was octogenarians for the most part, and he ended his set with a stroke joke.
Yeah.
So I thought that was the ballsiest thing you could do in a room full of people who had the highest probability of having one there or before. And so I thought it was my duty to also end on a stroke joke as well, because it delighted me so.
The show is really great.
You didn't want to cap it off. No, you were having a good show. You didn't want to. I had a good show too. I had a fantastic time. Lovely audience. Libby,
everybody did great. The audience was really fun. I was a little bit worried when people, like, we got there a little less than an hour before showtime, and there were like 2 cars in the parking lot. It's like, oh, okay. Are people gonna? Oh man.
Oh no.
Is the Daddio curse going to continue? And
did they just realize Johnny Carson's not alive for this 100th birthday? That he's been dead for 20 years?
Wasn't a huge room to start with, but they filled it up pretty nicely. There was a good size audience. Everybody was pretty into the show. I think they had we talked to a lot of them afterwards. Everybody seemed to have a nice time. Ran into one of the couples. We went to dinner with Pat and Libby after the show, and two of the audience members were there. And they came over to again say what a lovely time they had. I thought that was nice. That guy looked like actor Robert Mitchum.
Yes, he had a very Mitchum-y face. Had a fantastic dinner at Black Cow Fat Pig. Was that the name of it?
Something.
I kept on seeing that sign that said pub and steak, and I was just like, "Oh, is that the name of it?" Had a fantastic dinner there. Went to the bathroom, left my phone on the toilet paper dispenser, as you do when you're using the bathroom, scrolling through your phone. Then you got to put it down and wipe. So then I came back to the table. The last thing I did with the phone was take a picture of everybody at the table. So that's why I knew where it was. The next morning, or not even the next morning, 20 minutes after we left there, I guess they were closing. So it was good that we were leaving. But then when I realized I left my phone, we went back and that place was shut down. And then the next morning, I was like, well, I think they open at 11. I really don't want to stay here that long. Hopefully they're getting like a delivery or something loaded in. I know my phone's there. We'll go there. And then I'll come back and grab you, Glenn, and we'll hit the road for our 12-hour drive back, or 14-hour drive back. Got there. They did not open at 11. On Sundays, they are closed. And then the good people, or good person specifically, Sam at the fire station right next door to the restaurant, called the police station, got a phone number, an emergency number phone number for that restaurant. And within the next hour and a half, right around 10:30, went in there, got my phone, and we were able to hit the road.
Yeah. So a bit of
Hospitality in Nebraska. So
a
nice.
bit of a delay. When I was there, I performed at the Wayne Chicken Show in nearby Wayne, Nebraska. That was the trip that I brought Amelia to. We got stuck there for an extra day or two because we had some car trouble. And then when they were taking a look at that, like, also you have a huge bubble on the side of your tire. So if you try to drive to New Jersey, it's going to blow out for sure at some point on the trip. So we have to order you a tire. The downside to the Honda Fit is it's got weird sized tires that places don't always have on hand.
Mm-hmm. And
So
now it's an extinct car, right? It's
It's
a car that it's an extinct car. So
yeah,
make
they
it even
stopped
harder to get those tires.
2023, 2024 was the last model year. I don't remember. So yeah, I'm sure that's going to help make them easier to get. But it's the only real problem I've had with the car. So yeah, we were stuck there for like an extra 2 days. And this was a shorter delay, but like a pretty poorly timed one. So when I started, I drove from my home to your home. Then we drove an extra few hours to get a little closer. I was gonna do that in reverse. My plan originally was like, oh, like, yeah, whatever. We'll wake up. We, have both pretty consistently woken up sometime between 6 and 7 on trips. So it's not like, oh, we got to wake up at 4 and hit it's like, we'll wake up
our
natural
Daddio clocks make us get up.
And it's like, well, we might as well leave now, right? There's no point in hanging around the hotel for 2 hours for no reason. So it's like, oh, that would put us at your place kind of late, probably like 10 or 11 at the late, assuming we stop or whatever.
That's true.
And it's like, well, I can go for another hour or two, which isn't much, but it's not an hour or two that I have to do tomorrow.
Right.
I set an alarm to wake up early in your house because we got back at like 2.
After the phone debacle, 2:15, and then I didn't go to sleep until like 2:35.
I was out almost immediately.
I did not. I could not get to sleep last night. Too much shit running through my brain.
But I slept through the alarm that I set, and then woke up and was still like exhausted. So I was fully prepared to be like, "Hey, thanks, bye," and then just like leave. But it's like, oh no, I think I need a little bit of time to actually kind of wake up. So like we hung out for a bit, had coffee before I left, but I didn't get back here until like 8 o'clock.
And then did everybody love seeing you when you got back?
No, I mean, I barely got a hello from anyone, which, is par for the course. It's fine. I've been gone for 5 days, but who cares?
I had an interesting, so the boys are old enough now, almost too, that this was one of the first times that they kind of recognized that I had been gone. But also a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks now, my wife and daughter were gone for 5 days on the Disney cruise. So I was putting them to bed every night. Yeah. And every other night, it's either I put them to bed or Allie, my wife, or me and whoever sitter put them to bed. I'm always putting them to bed. So being gone for this trip, the next night when I was FaceTiming Allie in their bedroom, Gus, who is really attached to me, Paul sometimes, fair weather son, she's like, say, Daddy's here on the phone, Daddy's here. And then Gus went to the door and he's like, Daddy. And she's like, no, honey, he's on the phone. He's not here. He's not here to put you to bed, but he's here on the phone to say goodnight. And so then he got on the floor and like looked under the crack of the wooden door and was like, Daddy. Allie's like, he's not here, buddy. So then they didn't see me until Monday morning when I got them all off to the sitter, and they love seeing me. Both of them, Paul, big old hugs, kisses, Daddy. It was amazing. Until then, I picked them up from the sitter, and their sitter was just like, Gus has been real like fussy today, fussy Gussie. Not sharing, like Paul delight, which is Paul loves pulling hair, slapping, punching, biting. Like it's an issue.
Yeah, I saw one of your child bit the other child when
it was there. Paul. It was 100% Paul, and he's the little one, and he attacks Gus, the big one. Gus is a gentle giant with big sad eyes. And so I was like, oh, that doesn't seem like Gus. And then Gus, oh my gosh, for the
Stabbed
next
me
until
right in the
bedtime was just a mess, just an emotional mess. Like we're walking into the Paul loving me, like being super sweet and gentle to me and like real affectionate, like, hey, Daddy. Gus is just like, get your hands off me, you stranger who left me for 5 days. Until then bedtime, where then he was just like, I'm sorry, please don't go again. I love you. You're my favorite. Anna, happy to see me. More happy that from my first visit to Five Below with you at that outlet mall stop, I got her Pop-Tart multicolor pen, like where it has like the 20 different colors that has a big old Pop-Tart at the top. A K-pop Demon Hunters poster. It was the first movie poster she has ever in her room. So now that is hung up. I'll send you the picture. Loved it. Went nuts so much that we didn't put it up until last night. And of course, it caused a meltdown because she was so excited about getting it up. Yeah, it was nice coming back home, but I did have, that's the thing is like, if we could just become more famous, I would love spending extended periods of time with you doing shows on the road. I think we would have a great time.
Yeah.
You're like, after this trip, nah. You're like,
No, I enjoy
out.
it. I like traveling and doing stand-up comedy.
We can cut this to here. This could be like a little in between, because if the next episode we talk about the comic book idea we put together, that's probably gonna fill the whole next episode. And I also have a corporate show on Monday, so that I know there will be tales of that as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I know. I have another cruise coming up in a couple of weeks, but I'm trying to remember what else I have going on in the near future to even talk about. We'll have to figure it out, because it'll be. I mean, it worked pretty well when we did it from the cruise last time. I was worried that like we
could even bank a couple if we had to.
Internet speed would be bad, and it wouldn't work. But I leave. I'm looking at my calendar to figure out. I think the 22nd of November for that, but it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks, baby.
2 weeks.
Oh, and then we are going to. Well, so that. Yeah, we might end up having to bank too, because there's probably the 2 weeks of filming, December 7th through the 20th. Those 2 Wednesdays, I'm going to be.
Yeah, you're going to be a busy boy.
Day. Yeah. So, hey, and what I was going to say before is last night, who knows where we're at now, but last night of 10/28, even though it's Halloween and we're in the future, we have hit $12,108 on our Indiegogo campaign. We are a little over 1/4 of our ultimate goal budget of $40,000. So thank you everybody who has contributed. That is going to unlock. I just haven't had the chance this morning because I'm also in pre-production / production for a fucking movie that I'm trying to make for $10,000. I'm an idiot. Please go and support that, because new perks are going to be opened up by the time you're listening to this for Truly Trudy, which is the second movie we're going to be making. Hopefully we're going to have a big announcement soon. If we get to $40,000, people like Glenn Tickle can be paid to come down and act for a day in Truly Trudy.
Yeah.
Because I know
I'm going to be the sexiest little guy.
Oh, I bring your own wardrobe. You're going to be the
Borat
teacher.
Thong bikini.
You're going to be the teacher who's into watching the kids fist fight.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be the fucking A teacher. Oh, maybe your team name should be fucking A team teacher. Maybe that's what we don't address it. Maybe on the chalkboard behind you during that scene, because it'll all be blurred out really. You could be teaching a course on why the A team is the best example of condensed history that has ever been portrayed in a pop culture way.
Taught me a lot about Nam.
Yeah. What to do and what not to do in future wars from the A team.
Just because your commanding officer says you can't just rob the Bank of Hanoi, guys. That should have been a big red flag.
Look, I know you're thinking, man, Kelly's Heroes. I've seen it before. No. This is why the A-Team is completely original and the greatest representation of post-traumatic stress from a war that has
It's the
ever.
best.
Yes. So please go there, see all the Trudy perks, a lot of great independent artists. Kudos, because he has done it more than once now. Roger Avery has shared our campaign. I don't think it's translated into any monies being given, but it does feel nice to have someone that you have appreciated their work.
Yeah,
Shine a
it
little
always
light
feels
on
nice.
you, because it's free to retweet, or it's free to repost or share, or whatever the phrasing of that is from whatever platform. That's all I have.
Heck yeah,
I've got
same.
that's the Bash is the first gig I have ever gotten on the Bash is Monday, and the woman after booking that was great. Like took we talked about every bit of like suggestions I had to make the show better. I was like, let me bring an opener. I'll pay them out of my pay. Like, let me run it like it's a show. This will be a better show. Have this, this, and this. And she was like, great. Yep. Whatever you need to make it that way. Let us know if there's anything else. And then a couple days after locking that down, she was just like, I have another section of our company's Christmas party that we need to do something for the next week on the 10th. Can we just do the same arrangement? And I was like, can we do this? Yeah. Yes. Same money. And then I will pay out of the opener. Like 100%. This is great. And the only downside to this is I hope there's not I don't think there'll be any overlap of employees except for her, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it goes well enough, though. Like, I wasn't thinking about this corporate holiday show going well on Monday the 3rd before this same person booked me immediately for a second one. And then it made me go, ooh, we talked about corporate shows a lot. Like, you could get through it and you got that paycheck and you move along like a gunslinger through the valley.
So then see the same person a week later.
It's not.
If they're listening to you for
and she gave me driver.
I got a couple leads through the Bash while we were on this trip, and the one I was talking about, they're like, they want to do an intermission, they want to do it, and it's like, I'm gonna quote them higher. A lot of time, not always, but usually, if you get a quote through this website, the Bash, where people book entertainment like comedians and bands and other stuff, they'll include a rough estimate of a budget. So they'll give you a range, or sometimes it'll just be like, less than $700. But it's like, this place is pretty far away. Sounds like they want to do it in the worst way possible. I'll send you a quote, but it's
price
gonna be more
gouge
than
them.
that. Yeah.
And then want to be undercut.
Yeah. I got the thing that said, they looked, but I've not heard anything. And then there was another one that reached out, but it was to me directly. I think they both were, actually. Not to brag.
They wanted you.
Yeah, because a lot of times it'll just be like, oh yeah, you were auto added to this because you said you would travel to this place this distance for comedy. But I think these are both. I know the other one was I think they're both. I believe they were both direct. So I sent them a quote, and it was under their top range, but I have not heard anything. So I don't know.
Just slightly under their top range because of the permutations of what they think. Like, if they're putting that much up front that they're like, this is how we want to do it, it's like, it's going to be harder to convince you that you are wrong, because no one wants to be told that they're wrong that much. And from what you described,
it's just like, it's part of the thing I've talked about of like, I need to start quoting a higher price when people ask me how much it costs me to do things, because then I won't have to cancel if a better paying thing comes along.
Yes.
Like, I'll cancel your $100 show if $1,000 show comes along. I'm not going to cancel, an $800 show if $1,000 show comes along. Like, it's not just, whoever pays me more, that's the show that I do. If I agree to do the show, I want to do the show. But there's also, I have to be realistic about the fact that it is my job and this is how I need to make money. So I'm not to throw numbers around, but like the range for this show, I think it was in Philly. It was like, well, that's not that far from me. Mm-hmm. It doesn't really cost me anything to drive down to Philly, do a show, and come back.
You don't need a hotel. You'd prefer not to have.
It's early enough where it's like, I'm just going home that night. So travel and hotel aren't accommodations that I need. So it's just like, yeah, well, you said you would pay this much to this much. I'll meet you in the middle. I
Yeah.
want to be paid well to do the show, but it's not like, oh, well, God, I got to get a plane ticket. I got to get a hotel. I got to rent a car. It's like, I'm going to drive down there in my beautiful Honda Fit. Tell you guys
I
jokes
gotta
for an hour.
smuggle
And then
these
drive
drugs in
home.
my butt. Like I gotta
Hots
find
to.
like what's the biggest thing that I could shove in my butt, and then
What
that's
is
the
it?
top, right? Because then if you already know that, then if you're ever in an instance that something is bigger than that, then you know your limitations. But
I think
you don't know until you try.
yeah, you gotta learn about yourself. All
Yeah,
right. I think we're gonna leave it there this
yeah,
week. All right.
I like that.
Great talking with you, friend.
That feels good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
No.